soap lovers? It is a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness that is unfolding on our favorite daytime drama. We need to talk about the absolute emotional wreckage left in the wake of the Fairmont Crest tornado. While the physical destruction is terrifying, the emotional landscape of our favorite characters is shifting in ways we never could have predicted. Today, we are putting a massive spotlight on Nicole Dupree, Kyle Rollins, and the ticking time bomb that is Eva Thomas's medical crisis. If you thought the storm was over, you are dead wrong. The winds might have died down, but the true hurricane is just about to make landfall in Nicole's life. Let's start with that incredibly intense, deeply emotional night between Nicole and Kial. After the sheer terror of the tornado, the crushing weight of almost losing her entire family, and the chaotic energy at Garland Memorial, Nicole finally hit her breaking point. The timeline gave us a beautiful, vulnerable moment. Kial arrived at her house, looking at the devastation outside, noting it looked like a giant had stomped on the neighborhood. But inside, he became her ultimate protector. Nicole completely broke down, sobbing over the horrific deaths her family could have faced. And then she admitted something that made my jaw drop. She confessed that there was a moment she and Ted would have been so grateful to just survive together, to reflect on their lives. But then she hit us with the reality check. Ted has Shanice now. Can you believe the raw honesty in that scene? It was heartbreaking, but also incredibly cathartic. Kiao, being the absolute gentleman and anchor that he is, simply looked at her and said, "I got you." Nicole pulled him into her bedroom, and for the first time, they spent the entire night together. They made love, and Kiao held her as she finally succumbed to her utter exhaustion. He told her she was safe, and for that brief, fleeting moment, she truly was. But let's be real for a second, guys. We all know how soap operas work. This beautiful, quiet intimacy, this deep, uninterrupted slumber where they shut out the traumatized world, this is the textbook definition of the calm before the storm. I am predicting an absolutely chaotic morning after. Imagine the scene. The sun comes up, the adrenaline has completely worn off, and Nicole wakes up in Kiel's arms feeling a false sense of security. Then she reaches for her phone. The sheer panic that is going to wash over her face when she sees a mountain of missed calls from her frantic family members is going to be television gold. When a disaster of this magnitude strikes, you do not get to turn off your phone and hide from the world, especially when you are a cornerstone of the Dupree and Richardson families. The real world is going to come crashing through that bedroom door, and it is going to be brutal. We already know from the upcoming spoilers that Carlton tips Nicole off to an urgent matter. This is the notification that is going to shatter her peaceful morning. This urgent alert has to be about Eva. As we know, Eva is currently lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to a ventilator, fighting a losing battle against severe internal bleeding and a failing liver. Time is literally running out, and the situation has escalated from a medical emergency to a full-blown family apocalypse. Now, let's talk about the absolute desperation surrounding Eva's deathbed. Ted has been tested and ruled out. Leslie has been tested and ruled out. Andre is out of the running because of his medication. Martin and Smitty are not viable matches. The entire family is dropping like flies in terms of being able to save this young woman's life. The only hope left is Kat. But Kat is vehemently refusing to be a living donor. And honestly, I have to defend Kat here for a minute. Many fans are calling Kat selfish. And even Isaiah called her a hypocrite and misrighteous. But you guys, think about what Eva has done to her. Eva treated Kat like garbage, slept with her boyfriend, and was involved in 2 actual murder attempts. Why on earth should Kat be forced to sacrifice a piece of her own organ for her mortal enemy? Kat feels like a spare part, a sacrificial lamb, and her psychological trauma is entirely valid. But this brings us to the most explosive part of our discussion today. The spoilers tease that Leslie's recent good news gets snatched away, and that Leslie is going to confess something massive. We saw Leslie sitting by Ava's unconscious body, sobbing, apologizing for being cruel, and hiding the truth about Ava's father out of pure pride. Leslie is completely broken. Her manipulative, scheming armor has been stripped away by the terrifying reality that her daughter is going to die. So, what is this impending confession? What does Leslie do next? There are two major theories floating around, and both of them spell absolute disaster for Nicole. The first theory is that Leslie, in her lowest, most desperate moment, goes to Nicole and begs for her help. Can you imagine the sheer humiliation Leslie would feel, having to swallow her pride and beg her ultimate rival for a favor? The theory suggests that Leslie will confess her complete helplessness and plead with Nicole to use her influence to convince Kat to get tested. Leslie knows that Kat won't listen to Martin. She ran away from Ted, and she hates Isaiah right now. But Nicole? Nicole is a voice of reason. If Leslie begs Nicole to intervene, it puts Nicole in a terrible moral dilemma. Does she pressure a traumatized Kat to save a girl who tried to destroy her? But here is the kicker. And it is a theory that is setting the fandom completely on fire. What if Leslie's confession isn't just a plea for help? What if it is a dark, twisted legacy secret that changes the entire fabric of Beyond the Gates? What if Leslie confesses that she is not Eva's biological mother? And even crazier, what if Nicole is actually Eva's mother? I am going to be completely honest with you guys right now. I absolutely hate this theory. I despise it. If Ava turns out to be Nicole's daughter, it feels like a forced, tragic manipulation of the plot just for shock value. It completely rewrites history and turns everything we know about these legacy characters upside down. I do not want this to happen. But as a professional scriptwriter and someone who has analyzed soap opera tropes for years, I have to admit that it makes perfect, terrifying, dramatic sense. Think about the clues. The spoilers explicitly state that Kat receives life-altering information. If the secret is just about Eva's dad, why would it alter Kat's life so drastically? But if Nicole is Eva's mother, that means Kat and Eva's entire dynamic is a lie. If this twisted maternity secret drops, it means Nicole has a biological daughter dying on an operating table, and she would immediately need to be rushed into testing for a liver match. It would explain why Leslie has always been so fiercely protective, yet strangely distant and cruel to Eva, because she was harboring a massive, stolen child secret born out of pride and jealousy. If this tragedy is truly what the writers have planned, the fallout is going to be nuclear. Imagine Nicole's reaction. She just found a safe harbor with Kial. She just survived a tornado, and suddenly she is hit with the revelation that the girl causing her family so much pain is her own flesh and blood. The shock would absolutely break her. And what about Kat? Kat is already standing in the hospital stairwell screaming that she doesn't want to be a donor for a girl she hates. If Kat finds out that Eva is actually Nicole's daughter, or that their entire sibling lineage is a web of lies, the psychological devastation will be irreparable. Kat is already dealing with a shattered heart, and this would be the final blow. The timing of this potential confession is what makes it so brilliant and so cruel. Major questions are being raised at the exact moment Eva is hovering between life and death. The chaos is multiplying exponentially. Will Nicole have to step up and risk her own life in surgery right after surviving the storm? Will Kial be able to hold Nicole together when her entire reality shatters? Or will the sheer weight of this family trauma push Nicole right back into Ted's chaotic orbit, completely destroying the beautiful, safe peace she just found in Kial's bed? We are looking at a sweeps month cliffhanger that will be talked about for years. Whether Leslie simply begs Nicole to manipulate Kat or drops the mother of all maternity bombs, Nicole's peaceful morning is about to turn into a waking nightmare. I want to know exactly what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Kat is justified in refusing the test? Do you believe the crazy theory that Nicole is Eva's real mom, or do you hate it as much as I do? Let's get a debate going, because the drama in Fairmont Crest is just getting started, and you won't believe what happens next.